optometrist here in Antigua at iMobile Vision Care.
I'm optometrist Dr. Julia Bird.
I'm Dr. Alvin Edwards. I'm an ophthalmologist.
Vision care is very important to us as practitioners, and it should be important to each and every person out there. Visual impairment for our country, it brings things down in terms of the productivity, because if your eyes are not working to its optimum level, we're going to have a problem in our country. There are few major terms in terms of our visual impairment. We have, of course, simple refractive error. We have persons who are myopic. Those are persons who can see things fairly close, but things far away is blurred. We have people who are hyperopic. Again, the same thing can be said about them. As we age, we enter into a realm we call presbyopia, where the muscles in the back of the eyes just don't work as efficiently as it normally does. So those persons will have issues in terms of accommodating and seeing things up close.
Aging is not kind either to the body or to the eyes. As your eyes age, certain conditions like cataract and glaucoma become more prevalent. Cataract occurs when the lens within the eye, the intraocular lens, thickens and opacifies as its makeup changes. Other conditions such as drying of the eyes get worse as you age. Glaucoma is another condition that occurs more prevalent in older populations. It's therefore important to check your eyes more frequently the older you get. And we advise Black Caribbean people over the age of 30 to start to check their eyes annually. Children should also be checked quite frequently. As the eyeball grows, it changes, vision changes, and school entrance is the perfect time to screen children for vision disorders. A lot of the learning problems are based solely on poor vision, and so before you can diagnose children with things like attention deficit disorder and autism and learning disabilities, you have to check the pathways into their brain, mainly vision and hearing.
We can then go into the more serious vision problems, and this is where we always like to tell our patient that these things, you cannot pick these things up on your own. This is where you need a professional to check your eyes, and this should be done on a yearly basis. We have a phrase around here, iMobile, we like to say, check yearly, see clearly, and this is a phrase we want everyone to start to utilize in their daily life, because I always tell people, if you find out something is wrong, it's probably gone too far already. One of the things we do when we check the eyes, we have a look in the back of the eyes. Having a look in the back of the eyes reveals a lot of things about a person's health. We can see signs of diabetes, and that's just the way how the blood vessels may appear. We can see signs of diabetic retinopathy, where you have new blood vessels growing in places that it should not be growing. And again, all this is a part of the person's entire body. They have diabetes, some of them not really taking care of the diabetes situation, and it's affecting the eyes. And if it's affecting the eyes, guess what? It's affecting almost every major organs in your body. So again, eye examination, again, can save a life by us as practitioners having a look in the back of the eyes and making sure that things are looking fine there. We also have cataracts. Cataracts is something that's quite prevalent in tropical areas. Again, I tell people that we live by the equator. We are exposed to ultraviolet radiation on a daily basis, and a simple thing as using a sunglasses, you would not believe how much that can save you in terms of in the future. It prevents the ultraviolet radiation from hardening the crystalline lens in the back of the eyes, which is basically what cataract is. Cataract is a major form of blindness, and vision impairment worldwide, and all it is UV damage to our eyes.
Glaucoma is complicated. That's the most important statement. Glaucoma is not a single entity. Glaucoma is a group of eye conditions. It affects the optic nerve, which is the cable leading from the eye to the brain. And it affects it in multiple ways, many of them silent. Black Afro-Caribbean people get the type of glaucoma called open-angle glaucoma, which is painless, does not blur your vision in the early stages. And so you really are unaware that you have the condition. And so we need to bring awareness to it. And this is how World Glaucoma Week was born.
The idea is to come in and be checked so that you can do two things. One, you can keep your sight, and two, it would be less expensive for the society to treat you, to keep you seeing, and also you'll be a better functional individual in the society. One of the other things that's important is a family history. As I said before, it runs in families. Therefore, if somebody in your family has it, it's important to be checked. That's one of the greatest risk factors. Sorry, a family history of glaucoma.
We always want to get this at an early stage. Unfortunately, a lot of people show themselves up to the practitioners or to the hospital at a late stage. This is not what we want. We want when persons come in, we want to get at the early stage, and you get at the early stage, we can then refer to the ophthalmologist and heed their ways. You can control the pressure in the eyes that I'm sure they will get into a little bit more detail about. But again, we want to look at the optic nerve. We want to make sure the optic nerve is healthy, and all that is what we do when we look in the back of the eyes. We want to monitor the intraocular pressure, and thank God there's a lot more technology out there in terms of diagnosing glaucoma. The OCT is a pretty new equipment that will give us a whole breakdown in the back of the eye. So sometimes, right now, a lot of people, what they do when they look in the back of the eyes, we can only see what's on the surface, but the OCT goes within, on the retina, into the optic nerve. It gives us ganglion cell counts, which is an indication. If we see the ganglion cell counts becoming lower, that could tell us that's an early sign of glaucoma. So these are the technology that's out there now, and these are things that we are seeing in terms of glaucoma diagnosis and glaucoma treatment, which will ultimately save a lot of vision here in Antigua or here in the Caribbean.
As I said, glaucoma is complicated, and so complicated things need complicated approaches. It's not simple to screen for glaucoma. So even though we're offering a screening in the public, people have to understand that we may be screening, just doing maybe one or two of the tests that are needed to diagnose glaucoma. Intraocular pressure is one of the first ones, and we'll be doing that at the screening tomorrow. That's the pressure within the eyeball. You have to check the peripheral vision, because peripheral or side vision is lost silently in open-angle glaucoma. So we have computerized equipment, very high-tech now, that check your peripheral vision. You have to evaluate the quality of the health of the optic nerve. So you have to look at the optic nerve with various lenses and instruments, scopes, to decide how healthy the optic nerve is, or if it is changing. Optic nerve, the optic nerve has 1 million fibers in each optic nerve that die progressively with diseases like glaucoma. So you have to look at that to decide how healthy the optic nerve is. We have to do blood analysis. We have to check you for diabetes and hypertension. We have to check you for cholesterol. We have to check your hemoglobin. All of those impact the health of the optic nerve.
Diabetic retinopathy is growing, and it's becoming more important and more significant for vision loss. The treatment also has changed. When we started, the laser treatment was practically the only way of treatment besides surgery, but now we're seeing more and more we're doing intraocular injections of anti-VEGF factors, which is changing the course of disease and making it more successful. So that's just the second one that's important. There are a number of other things that we look at, practically everything we look at. But as I mentioned some time ago, there are 10 subspecialties in eyes. Well, over 10. So that among eye doctors, we tend to refer to each other quite a lot, because no single eye doctor has all of the answers for the disease of the eyes. So we all have to depend on each other. They're all intricate, very intricate areas and require a lot of detail and meticulous treatment. So we have a lot of subspecialties in eyes itself, probably more subspecialties than in the rest of the body. But that's because eyes is so important, you know. And it's always good in the context of a small eye like ours to have good comprehensive ophthalmologists. That is, ophthalmologists who have a fair grasp of all the different subspecialty areas and can refer as necessary, and also who have the contacts to know where to refer to and to get the type of results that we want, and again to have the support, which we do have, of medical benefits to support us when we need it in getting people to places where they need that.